Okay, let's make a deal. I'll do the best I can to keep this as unbiased as possible. I'm totally kidding. Let's party. I have a question, and I want you to come back to answer after you've ruminated on it for a while. So here it is. Have you ever been awakened to a perspective by someone or something you never saw it coming from? Are you a better person for it now? I did, recently, and I want to tell you about it. I'm 6 from the Tokudon podcast. To give my answer to that question, I need to explain someone who has been so important to this new perspective on regret, inner struggles, being a father. Today I want to answer why Genta Igarashi. I don't mean it lightly when I say this, but Kamen Rider, this children's show, has taught me more emotional empathy about family dynamics, about whatever that means to you. It's just the entirety of believing in yourself, coming together as a unit, and that entire concept has been most powerfully categorized and embodied by Genta. Spanning my entire fandom, the peaks of emotional connections to character traits and quirks has always been a part of the deal every season. You find your favorite character or something you like about them, and boom, the love blooms or dies based on the character's arcs and episodes there in between. You're at the mercy of the show. And it was Genta's character that completely shattered that expectation. It was Genta who made the journey through Kamen Rider Revice's narrative on familiar bonds truly impactful on me. In Genta, I connected with traits of myself, traits I repressed deep down, and traits that, honestly, I truly hope to live up to someday. In the early episodes of Kamen Rider Revice, Genta is a bewildered father figure who's trying to connect to his kids in goofy-hearted expressions of love through these bi-tube challenges that he fails miserably every time. But you can tell that despite the antics that he's up to, the heart of his expression is just to be the smile, to bring the smiles to his family, to be entertaining. That's who Genta is at his core, a goofy, love-expressing goof. And anybody, like any of us, who's had a quirky parental figure, you can tell firsthand. They're not playing a role. This is who they are. They're not trying to fit in. When you have a goofy parent, it is just a part of growing up. You expect these things out of them. Speaking from experience. But Genta's life didn't start out so happy. In fact, Genta didn't even start out as Genta Igarashi at all. Let me tell you a story about the past. Junpei Shiranami was once a young man whose life was forever changed when he was manipulated into becoming the embodiment of hatred and vengeance itself. Emotionless, so full of hate, he wakes up one day in a confusion. Strange men hand him an even stranger device and offer him a chance to excise that anger and hatred. All that's required is you listen to orders, do as you're told. Simple enough for someone who's lost most of their memories. Most, except one major one. A devil killed my family. So off he goes to slaughter dozens upon dozens of these monstrous devils who appear and attack these innocents. He transforms into Kamen Rider Vail, which is this prototype form of the future Revice suits that we see. You can tell it has this paramilitary feel to it. It's very heavily armored, but with a sense of asymmetry that just is undeniable upon every angle. However, the one thing that is undeniable, despite that sleek wing, is its power. This thing packs the heat. After dozens of missions, pointlessly ending in this fruitless endeavor to find this devil that keeps escaping his grasp, he's given up. He's hollowed out in this shell of a person. The anger has eaten away whatever humanity was left in him. Until one day, one devil takes him to encounter what will become the light of his life, despite the hell he has to go through first. Yukimi Igarashi is an orphan who just so happened to be a bystander during one of Junpei's assaults. It ends up destroying the bridge that they were all hiding under, and miraculously she survives and finds Junpei buried underneath the rubble. Together they escape, and she manages to nurse him back to some sort of sanity. However, his memories still haven't returned, but they are coming, and something within him is driving this rage. As with most amnesia stories, Junpei's memories are hazy, but the one thing that eludes him the most is his name. And so, Yukimi, being the absolute gem she is, gives him a new one, Genta Igarashi. Now we don't know right away, but Genta's a special name for her. It was the name of her pet dog. But it's a name, and the now Genta Igarashi loves it. Of course, what comes to pass is Genta learns that he was not just some random prisoner who was forced to fight devils. The very people that kept him prisoner were the very ones that took away his life. They forced him to undergo a surgery that infused him with these cells from the Gifu entity. Now, this Gifu is quite literally a devil, and demons who form contracts within people emerge from the great propensity for negative emotion. And how did that come to pass for our poor little Junpei before he became Genta? Well, these men are the ones to thank for that. You see, through a torturous event, they forced the birth of his inner demon, who we will know as Vail. What you have to understand about demons in Kamen Rider Revice is they are not just entities that possess you or some kind of external threat. They are born from within you. They are as much a part of you as any emotion. Think of it as a manifestation of a negative emotion. Vail was created from the torture that he endured, and they compelled him to do such heinous things. Genta has to fight to protect the humanity that Yukimi has restored within him. Of course, the people that have done this to him are coming back after him. That's when the truth is finally revealed to him. Junpei was a project, constructed, organized, and directed to kill his parents after he was infected with Gifu cells, after he had already been tortured, after he had birthed his own demon. They forced him to turn his family to ash, all for the hope to create the ultimate soldier, the ultimate warrior specimen. It was a lot, and he broke, and he gave in to his hate. Genta went on a warpath and tore through the entirety of the organization that created him. And it would have drove him to the brink of destruction if it weren't for just two of the most important things to him, Yukimi and Boo. Together they connected with him and were able to pull him back from the brink. And with a repentant Karizaki, they were able to expel Vail from him. And this is where Genta became the hero he needed to be, despite not being able to be as powerful as he was without Vail. He made a choice to fight back against the hate that birthed him, to fight back against the rage that was controlling him, and become a hero to at least save Yukimi. This battle was a precursor to everything to come, but even still, you could feel the desperation in Genta to stop Vail from hurting anything that he loved, and to control it. Did they know what was going to happen? Not at all, but they banked on sealing Vail away for the time being. The price was heavy, as it should have been, but they were free for a time. The consequences of that were enormous. Genta once again lost all of his memories. In order to protect him, they had to change his face and his appearance. Yukimi, unfortunately, had the burden of remembering everything. And the burden of reconstructing an identity from a man who just wanted to love her and be happy. Somehow, they made it work. That's why Yukimi is just priceless. Vail's return signified the end of the Genta we knew. That happy-go-lucky dude no longer was there. He was fully taken over by Vail, the rage-filled entity that just wanted nothing but destruction. And its evil schemes took Genta through a loop. Genta was not himself for a long time, until they were able to come together and free him from Vail's grasp. But the damage was already done. Genta couldn't be himself with everything that had happened, knowing full well there was something left to do. Now, enough time has passed. Genta has raised a family of Kamen Riders and regained his memories through all the events of Kamen Rider Revice. Gifu, the cells that created him, have come and infected his kids, and now they have their own demons to work with. All these events have stirred all the echoes and memories within Genta, and now Vail's back. And it wasn't good. Inspired by the connection his children have formed with their devils, Genta forms a single gambit. He asked the son of the man who cursed him to create a new device for him to face Vail. He's given the Destream driver. If I can for just a moment, there's a scene where Genta and Yukimi are having their rice and curry. The two of them celebrate their life together. They're laughing. She ends up holding him. It's their final meal before that confrontation with Vail. And even though the moment itself is kind of hard, lighthearted, they're showing their children, they're reflecting on the past and laughing. The subtext of everything, you understand that they're treating this as what could be their final meal together. And the heaviness within their eyes and the delivery of the subtext in their lines, this moment in Kamen Rider Revice is one of the most precious ones that expresses this feeling that I was trying to relay of the connection of familial bonds. A husband and his wife, a partnership, is coming to the culmination that everything has finally come full circle, and this is the reality. Genta's final confrontation with Vail is everything I wanted. Everything. It is the culmination of the height of his emotional journey, the height of Genta's character arc, and the absolute best thing to come out of Kamen Rider Revice. In my humble opinion, fight me. So let's talk about this henshin. The Hercules Beetle Vice Stamp and the Destream driver. The blues, whites, reds come together so perfectly. I love the high shoulder aspects, how it looks like the legs and claws of the beetles are clasping onto him. And then there's two that kind of dangle off back to kind of give it this cape look. It's dope. I like it a lot. It's the helmet that brings it all together. The angular points that come to a spike. I love it. I love it. It brings it all together for me. This bitter battle is taking place in the middle of all the other battles going on around them. The siblings are trying to save their misguided brother and bring him back to the light. There's a somber song playing over this entire fight sequence. It was used as the outro for the Revice Legacy special, and it hammers home the emotional tie of this fight. Genta and Vail are fighting to end it all, and they're not going to break unless one of them breaks the other. When it's over, Genta has won. But he's gotta do one more thing. Return Vail to where he came. Back inside. To reunify with the devil is the way to win. It cost Genta to come to terms with the reality that his past unfortunately affected everything. But he was not strong enough to do it on his own. He was lucky to have those he cared about and those he held so dearly to fight for them, and they fought for him, and that's how they won. So what was this story about? It's about the endless fights we go through, the tragedies that bring us darkness, the struggle and the fight that we go through to find the light, the peace. But it takes the love from within. It takes that love to be fed from within and out with goofy hobbies, goofy people, dinners that leave bellies full, and the warmth of all your loved ones. I'm Six with the Tokudon podcast. Be sure to check out all our other videos. Check us out across all our social platforms. Thanks for letting me tell you why Genta Igarashi is just awesome. See you next time.